update, the jig is up. Nigga, I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas look up the hove. I never looked up to them.
So apparently, Jay-Z kicked out Rory and Ma out of his section at the Roots Picnic freestyle. Allegedly told them, I thought you were both Drake fans.
Go. And once you combine Drake cryptically posting this image 2 years ago randomly and then him dissing Jay-Z all over Iceman, a lot of people are thinking that Drake has always been preparing to diss Jay-Z.
Only two people we want to see Drake work with is Nicki Minaj and goddamn Lil Wayne. The rest of y'all, toodaloos.
All right, y'all, this is huge. Jay-Z might have just forced the Young Money Avengers to assemble. After Jay dissed Nicki Minaj and Drake at the Roots Picnic, we're now hearing that Drizzy, Nicki, and Lil Wayne are coming straight for Jay. Drake even dropped a hint that he's about to go full Solange on Jay. And if you know what that means. This all happened after Jay-Z performed at the Roots Picnic last weekend, and he delivered a surprise a cappella freestyle and dissed pretty much everyone who talked smack about him over the years. Drake, Nicki, Dame Dash, Kanye, Tory Lanez. So let's talk Drake first. Jay-Z's diss directly responded to lines from Drake's new album, Iceman. On his track, Janice STFU, Drake raps, "We know how you OGs rockin' already. The jig is up."
A clear reference to Jay-Z, also known as Jigga. So then Jay fired back with this.
The jig is up. Nigga, up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Look up the hove. I never looked up to them. The crackers got your publishing gangster. Go talk tough to them. Don't talk success to me. You workers. In perpetuities, how your contract is worth.
And then he came for Nicki. You already know Nicki has been coming for Jay-Z for Roc Nation for years now, accusing them of everything from owing her money to sending shooters to her house. So now Jay finally responded. However, he didn't deny any of those allegations. He just accused Nicki of using substances and made a reference to Nicki's husband Kenneth's legal case.
That lady back on the stuff, she sound like she in love with him. Her king can't even take their kids. Enough of them. A rapper can't be my eye. I got MAGA Republicans. Them shots came from the very top of the government. Good luck with them. I'm governed by God.
And then we already know that Lil Wayne cannot stand Jay-Z after he betrayed him like a snake. Now let's talk about how Jay-Z managed to turn the whole Young Money / Cash Money camp against him. Because there was a time when they all praised Jay as their role model. Mind you, Jay-Z gave Drake a cosign early on by appearing on the hook for Off That in 2009. And then just months later, they linked up on Light Up off Drake's debut album, Thank Me Later. It felt like a mentor passing wisdom. But here's why Jay was never a good mentor to anyone. Mentors aren't supposed to get jealous when the student levels up, and that is exactly what happened. You have to understand the context of the early 2000s. Drake was moving differently. On DJ Khaled's I'm On One, Drake rapped, "I'm just feeling like the throne is for the taking. Watch me take it." And at the time, Jay and Ye were literally on the Watch the Throne tour. But Drake said he wasn't being disrespectful. He was just being confident. After all, that's exactly how Jay moved his whole career. I mean, the man literally calls himself God, Jehovah. But Jay didn't like it when Drake tried to use the same formula. The real turning point, though, was the art comment. In a 2013 Rolling Stone interview, Drake jokingly said Jay couldn't drop bars anymore without mentioning how many Basquiat's and Warhols he owns. And look, Drake had a point. Jay was in his billionaire art collector bag. He wasn't rapping about that street life anymore. But instead of laughing it off, Jay hopped on Jay Electronica's We Made It remix and threw a shot. "Sorry, Mrs. Drizzy, for so much art talk. Silly me rapping about ish that I really bought. It was just your regular capitalist Jay-Z bar. Every time someone disses him, he just reminds them he's richer than they are." And let's talk about the business side, because this is where Jay really moves shady. In 2015, Jay begged all the top artists to join Tidal. Drake came on board, but when Apple came calling with a better bag, Drake left. And then shortly after that, Meek Mill, who was managed by Roc Nation, leaked those reference tracks, accusing Drake of using ghostwriters. You see the timeline? Drake walked away from Jay's failing business, and suddenly the industry machine turned on him. At least that's how Drake's fans felt. They said that this was the exact moment Drake was no longer useful to Jay-Z. And then a month later, Meek Mill leaked Drake's reference tracks. So after that Tidal drama, Drake and Jay continued to take subliminal shots at each other for over 10 years. Fast forward to 2026, and Drake rapped on Iceman that he'd take $500,000 over dinner with Jay because he couldn't learn ish from him. And here's the thing, Drake really has outsold Jay. He's broken every streaming record. Jay had to literally buy Tidal to try to compete with streaming. And Drake, whether you love him or hate him, is the king of streaming. After he dropped his 3 new albums last month, Drake became the most streamed artist on Spotify in a single day for 2026. Now, you could argue that streaming numbers mean nothing if you don't write your own bars, but either way, Drake took that crown, and Jay couldn't stand it. And then, of course, there is the entire mess with Nicki Minaj. Now, I need you all to listen closely, because the media tried to gaslight us on this one. Jay-Z painted this picture at Roots Picnic that Nicki is crazy, that she's a MAGA Republican, and that her husband has legal issues. He took cheap shots. And I'm not denying that those things are true. I'm certainly not defending Nicki's husband or agreeing with Nicki's politics. But here's what Jay-Z ignored. Why is Nicki actually mad? It's about the money, period.
Back in 2015, Jay-Z sold a dream to artists. He told them to come and be owners with Tidal. Nicki signed on and was given 3% equity in that company. But in 2021, Jay sold Tidal to Jack Dorsey's Square for $297 million. Now do the math. 3% of that is roughly $9 million. But did Nicki see that $9 million? No, absolutely not. Sources say Nicki claims Jay-Z only offered her a lowball buyout, roughly $1 million. And Nicki has been screaming this from the rooftops for years. And according to Nicki, Jay-Z now owes her $200 million with interest. She even posted receipts and said, "I'm going to use some of the money Jay-Z owes me to send some of my barbs to college, pay their school fees and student loans via my Student of the Game charity." But instead of paying her what she is owed, Jay-Z invited Nicki's ex-boyfriend Meek Mill on stage at Roots Picnic to perform right after dissing her. The same Meek that put hands on Nicki. And even Meek's friend claimed this is true and said Meek spat on Nicki. But that's not all. Nicki has also accused Jay-Z and Roc Nation president Desiree Perez of sending shooters to her house and swatting her. And she even hinted that those incidents are the reason she had to ask Republicans to help, because apparently the California governor ignored her.
And then there was something that happened a few months ago that if I wasn't going to do it before, something happened a couple months ago.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it, but I'll say that sometimes people can push you so much that they push you all the way into your next calling.
Now last, but certainly not least, Lil Wayne. If you don't know the history, Jay-Z and Wayne have had an off and on tension since the early 2000s. But the moment that proves Jay was threatened by Wayne, HAM by The Throne. On that song, Jay-Z rapped, "You got baby money / keep it real with them, they ain't got my ladies money." Obviously, baby is Birdman. And Jay was trying to assert financial dominance. But here's the thing, Jay was in his 40s when he said that. Wayne was still in his 20s. Of course he had baby money compared to a guy with $1 billion, but lyrically, Wayne ate Jay alive in the response. Wayne jumped on "It's Good" with Drake and Jadakiss and rapped, talking about baby money? I got your baby money. Kidnap your B, get that how much you love your lady money. And see, that's how you respond. That's the real battle rap mentality. And what's crazy is that Jay never responded directly to that bar. Weezy literally threatened to kidnap Beyonce, and Jay said nothing. Why? Because he couldn't. Wayne outpunched him. Jay hides behind the whole "I'm a billionaire, you're not on my level" shtick when he knows he can't win a war. Look at the Super Bowl situation. For years, Wayne has said his dream was to perform at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Who runs the halftime show? Jay-Z's Roc Nation. Who got picked over Wayne in 2025? Kendrick Lamar. So don't let Jay rewrite history. Weezy gave Jay a feature on Mr. Carter as a sign of respect, and Jay used that platform to take subliminal shots. But in a straight bar-for-bar battle, we all know Weezy would wash Jay. And you know what? Maybe we're about to witness that very soon. Rumors are getting loud that Drake, Nicki, and Wayne are joining forces on a collab project, and the target is Sean Carter. And apparently, this isn't going to be some regular rap beef about who sold more records. Sources are saying Drizzy, Nicki, and Wayne have some real stories to tell, and allegedly, it involves those dark allegations about Jay. Everything from the Diddy stuff to Jay's name popping up in those DOJ Jeffrey files. And Drake even hinted that something huge is in the works by posting a photo of Solange taken right after she put her paws on Jay in that elevator. The message is clear. The Young Money trio is coming for Jay, and things are about to get ugly. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Drake, Nicki, and Wayne actually have dirt on Jay-Z? Should Jay be worried? Drop your takes in the comments below and stay tuned for the next video.